Right, imagine me saying Joe Biden by himself is running America right now. That he doesn't have a team, cabinet, a government, he doesn't have any advisors, generals, anybody around him. How did this, what superpowers did this one man have to control everybody? He hypnotized everybody and balls. He had people behind him backing, but he's the figurehead, the scapegoat.
Let's talk about facts.
If you want to have intellectual discussions.
Spiritually oriented, very beautiful far.
Who you are beyond the personality.
I'm a human being, same as you.
Be who you are.
But to answer your question,
What is really going on? And let's get into this.
And what is happening in Wirgo Warriors, and welcome to the wonderful world of Wirgo, the place where we ask what is really going on. Now we're diving back into the evil situation today, and we've got pulled up some TikToks, and we're going to give my views on some of what's been said here. People are going to talk to us about evil and try and tell us what is evil and blah blah blah. So what I'm going to do is just going to give some commentary over it. If those people who don't know and you're watching this, I do not accept evil exists. Neither good. It's a false perception. A tree of knowledge is a knowledge that grows within you, so a perception, and you can perceive the world as good and evil, which is dualistic. There's nothing in between, you see, which makes it false. Or you can perceive the world as life, which falls under the category of the Trinity. In other words, there's a positive, negative, and a neutral in between, which is just a more realistic way of looking at it. If you believe in causality, if you believe in a cause and effect, then you can't believe in evil. That's silly. You're saying evil is the cause. So okay, and then the cause must be something. But when you look up what evil is, it has some sort of fallacious circle of reasoning behind it, or circular definition, which means that evil is evil. Now they use different words for evil, but it's the same thing. So look at one of my other videos if you want to check that out. So I'm just going to see what people say, and I'm just going to try and give a response to some of these. Okay, so we're going to hit record a minute. So bear with us, and well, let's see how this goes. Ready?
There are some people that are evil because they choose to be evil. It's not because they were abused as a child or suffered some sort of trauma. It's not because there's some sort of chemical in their brain that makes them operate in a certain way. They're evil because they choose to be evil, and they do evil things as a manifestation of their evil.
Okay, so literally this gentleman gave all the reasons why people do these certain things. He labelled cause and effect and said, no, we don't live in that world. It can't be because of the traumas they had as a child that caused them to do these things. No, it's not what the scientists and the doctors say. It's not that. It's just some fictional thing from a storybook. Evil. It's crazy.
I get that all the time from the people who've only consumed the negative media and believe the lies reported about myself and my brother. Now when I meet them, I'll take a girl out on a date, or I'll meet some woman saying my kids want a photo with you. Wow, you're actually so nice. What do you expect me to attack your children? The way the media spins the whole lies, people actually get afraid. They think that you're actually a genuinely bad person. But
well, I mean, the media does do a lot of things like that, but I'm not here to doubt the media to do things or say things, anything like that. But I think that was the Tate brothers who are in a lot of trouble right now. And I actually don't mind the Tate brothers. I will put some videos up on the Tate brothers soon. But yeah, it's the same. And so, little story is, I was abused as a child because my father thought I was evil. Evil does not exist. It's a narcissistic weapon. Do you understand? It creates blame and shame to hurt people, to harm their emotions, to attack people's emotions. It's not something it's not critical thinking. Any critical thinker that talks about evil, let them know you can say, you can tell them they're stupid if you want, but I don't like using words like that, but I know we do. It's fallacious. It's completely fallacious. No one can tell me what evil is. No one has done up until this point. If you think you can, put your comments in the description below, and we'll take a look at it. Sorry about the text. It's nothing.
I'm calling you evil because you believe that you should be able to force your religious morals on people who don't even believe them. Just evil. Not even remotely true about me or Christians at all.
Well, for the person who said that, actually, I can't see the name of whoever they said it there. They're calling someone evil because someone's pushing their religious morals on someone, but evil is a religious moral, so they're pushing their religious morals on this person because they're pushing religious morals. Oh, in my head. Ow. Oh, right, let's see what this lady has to say.
Well, actually, but they know best. So I said, congrats, you get 20 points for assumptions. You can read the thread. It's like, well, I know what the book says. Clearly, because it doesn't say that.
Well, most people who claim to be Christians don't know what the book says because they have a Jew perception or dual perception. Not Jewish, not the Jewish people, Jewish faith. Nothing to do with them. Although I believe they all believe in the same thing as Christians and Muslims. I have no problem with people and faiths, guys. I have problems with perceptions. And your perceptions are all dual, double-minded. You all believe in this fairy tale, good and evil. You're seeing something. You're seeing like illness, negative illness, negative behaviors and things. But instead of seeing it for what it actually is, you're going, evil, evil. It's like, what the bloody hell is evil? How do we detect it? How can we heal from? You can't. It's a mysterious force from beyond our... Oh, it's like, shut up. An atheist, if you believe in evil, go talk to yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, what is it? Where does it come from? What are you actually talking about? Is it a supernatural force? Evil is literally this thing created by religious people to control. It's a level of control, a method of control. No, shut up, Carl, get into it.
So I said, cool, then you don't have to talk to me anymore, right? Can you imagine if a Christian just came out and said to an atheist, and I'm calling you evil because, honestly, nobody does that. They'll talk about disagreeing with what they believe or don't believe, but they're not going to just outright call them this stuff.
But that's not true. I've heard loads of Christians call people evil. I mean, I get it from Christians more than anybody else, but that's because I live around Christians, so...
But like my other videos, deep down they already know they're kind of in trouble with God. But this guy, and I know you're kind, and this...
No one's in trouble with God. God thinks we're all perfect. God is not good, is not evil. God is just what we refer to as the universe. If we see ourselves as God, then everything that's within us is the universe. Now, if you go outside that and pretend we're inside something, like the earth, for example, then you pretend like the earth is God and we're all inside it. You just keep doing that over and over and over until you get to what we refer to as the universe is God and everything inside it. God to me is just the authority we give to something that is above us. And when I mean above us, I mean that we're inside. We'll get there, don't worry.
And if you voted to restrict the rights of gay people, no, I actually wouldn't define right. But you know best. I'll never cease to be amazed at the ignorance. Just the lethal audacity.
What? No, I will never be amazed at the ignorance. It's rife everywhere, especially in individuals that believe in good and evil. If God exists, why... Yes.
Why would a loving God allow pain to happen?
God doesn't allow anything to happen. It doesn't work like that. Pain is a beautiful thing, by the way. I thank God every day for pain. Pain is a way of learning. Just because you don't like it. And God doesn't allow evil to exist because evil does not exist. It's a made-up thing in our heads. It's part of our imagination. It's not real. What you're seeing, you see as evil, but it's not evil. It's like I've said this before, it's like wearing a pair of shades from birth that are tinted blue. Once you take them off, you realize, oh my God, everything's not tinted blue. The perception is like that. It's just a pair of shades, and it says good and evil. So when you see the world, and you see all the positive and negative things, you just classify them as good and evil, right and wrong, bad and good, or whatever, instead of going, well, that's just positive and that's negative, but what are they positive and negative of? Well, they're positive and negative of the thing in the middle, the neutral thing, where, what it could be anything, health, in most cases. So you see negative health, you go evil, instead of going, no, it's just illness. Negative health, by the way, is just unhealthy. And not in well, it can be in a sense, but what we're just talking about in health is just being free from illness and injury. And the illness here is like a narcissistic imbalance. We narcissistically judge everything. That's what good and evil is. It's a narcissistical judgment. Empathic judgment kind of does a similar sort of thing. But like it should just be somewhere in the middle. I just get on because I don't want to get too much into that.
Good question.
Start off, the question could be rephrased into why does evil exist? Or why does Allah the Almighty or God allow evil to exist? We often forget at times that this life is a test, is a trial, for Allah the Almighty to see who deserves paradise and who doesn't. As he says in...
I can't listen to the rest of that. And this person is very, very deluded. I'm sorry, that is delusion beyond. God does not have a hell and heaven that you go to after you die. Hell and heaven are just the states of mind that you create for yourself once Atum dies. Atum is your thinking mind. It comes after about when God is in the universe and the processes within you rest on the 6th year, not 6th day, 6th year, about 6.8, so 6, well, not 0.8, I think 6 years, about 8 months. Give and take. People do, it's different for different people, but that's the average. And we work on, generalizations, don't we? So God will rest as in the process within you, and then you, Atum, is born, the first to be aware within you, not the first human being on the planet. So and because of that, if you accept good and evil, Atum cannot think, so Atum will go to sleep. This is death for the spirit mind, and you'll go to your soul mind, which is then Eve, which refers to like good and evil for a while, and then eventually that dies and you go to a cardinal mind. Other episodes, guys.
These are the most evil people in history, part 1. Up first.
Right, and so they're evil to this person. I don't see Saddam Hussein as evil. I think his acts were vile, but no more vile than the acts that were put on his people by the Americans. Well, not just the Americans, I think it was a lot of different people. I'm not too sure. But he claims so many times why he did this, and like individuals like this have been taught it's evil. I'm not going to say Saddam Hussein was right in what he did or correct in what he did. Of course he wasn't. It was an illness within himself to see the Americans or whoever he had a problem with as evil. There should have been a better way. But then why isn't like the faces of the American president up there, who then, after what he did, went and slaughtered 700,000 odd Muslims, pretending they had bombs and stuff. You only seem to put the ones you don't like up on there. I don't get it.
Is Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was a terrorist and the founder of Al-Qaeda. He is also responsible for the 9/11 attacks in 2001.
See what I mean? Evil does this as a stopgard. Instead of going, why did he do it? And then going back and finding out what your people did to his people prior to that, did you class that as evil? Did this gentleman look at the acts that his people did to their people as evil? And then you can go back and back and back and back. This is cause and effect, guys. This is reality. But this guy is lost in a dream world where he believes in evil. So this guy's evil. Again, his acts were vile, more likely, and horrific. I don't know all of them, see. Of course, the 9/11 was an absolutely abysmal time for everybody. And for those who died in it, God rest their souls. For the families that suffered from it, my heart goes out to you. Did the time. I was in the military myself. But still, I don't look at Saddam Hussein as evil. If you want to push that perception on me, then, this is what we refer to as sinning.
Along with numerous other mass casualty attacks against civilian and military targets worldwide. Next up is the most evil man of all time, Adolf Hitler.
So Joseph Stalin, not Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great. None of these, they've all been forgotten. This guy. And like I said, this is a man, by the way, who won Person of the Year in America. Person of the Year for the things he did before the war. How did he get Person of the Year, or Man of the Year, whatever it may be, and now he's the most evil person in the world? Because during a war, he made war choices that killed so many people. People talk about how he hated Jewish people and things. There's been lots of that kind of thing. I mean, throughout history. I'm not saying anything is correct here. I don't support any of it, none of it. But calling it evil, I can't get on board with calling it evil. Illness, I haven't got a lot of names, but like on the opposite side, you had like Churchill, who I think it was killed millions of Indians. I say Indians, people from India. Is that right, Indians? I'm not too sure. People from India. They killed so many people from India in famines and that to feed his soldiers for the war. And so many of our fathers and brothers all died in that war. I think there's another agenda behind it, which I'll cover in another episode.
He was the Chancellor of Germany from 1933 to 1945, and the Führer of Nazi Germany from 1934 to 1945.
I am going to do something on Hitler once I've researched it a lot more. My education is really lacking in this area, so no judging. This is all educational for me. But, like, I'm talking about the fact of using the word evil instead of other words that can describe it a lot better.
He was responsible for the Holocaust, which we...
Again, right, imagine me saying Joe Biden by himself is running America right now. That he doesn't have a team, a cabinet, a government. He doesn't have any advisors, generals, anybody around him. How did this... What superpowers did this one man have to control everybody? He hypnotized everybody and balls. He had people behind him backing, but he's the figurehead, the scapegoat.
Resulted in millions of innocent people dying.
Well, but that part, I suppose, is true. Lots of innocent people did die. If you call them innocent, I don't know the full extent of the word innocent means, really, but lots of people did die. And that was an awful, awful part of history.
He was a complete embodiment of an evil person. It's crazy that Adolf Hitler was so evil that he sounds like a fictional character.
No, you're making him into a fictional character. Yeah, he's right, though. It does sound like a fictional character when you use the fictional words like evil instead of mentally unstable, chemically unhinged. I mean, for some people who've done their research, you know, and again, the man was backed by, you know, his generals, everybody. Well, I say everybody, not everybody, obviously.
If God is good, then why does so much evil exist in today's world?
It doesn't. There you go, I answered your question. Evil doesn't exist in our world, it only exists in our heads.
Okay, so this concept is kind of tricky for some people to understand, so I'm going to break it down for you a little bit, okay? God is good. As a matter...
God is not good, and God is not evil. These things do not exist. God is neutral. God is everything and everything you live in. You are also part of God. The atoms that make your body are the body of God. Yeah, all these atoms. The source of God is the frequency of all that is. The body of God would be referred to the vibration of all that is. And the spirit of God would be the energy of all that is. The great hymn. We live inside of God, like we live inside the earth, like your organs live inside you, and the microbes that live inside you, and bacteria that live inside you. Do you think they look up and go, "This? No, God is just us." They, no, I'm here. But then outside me, and outside me, and outside me, and outside me, and outside me. I'm sure you get what I'm talking about. Eventually, we could say we get to a one thing. We can't definitely say that, but the idea is we get to one thing, which we refer to as the universe. But we never used to refer to as universe. So, in the immortal words of people like the atheist experience, why do we have the word universe when we had the word God? Same thing, right? I suppose it's because in their mind they're believing in like the Christian version of God or whatever religion they're looking at, which is some good being. That's Lucifer, by the way. Lucifer is the angel of light, of empathy and goodness, and then Satan is the angel of darkness and all that. But it's not good and evil. It's just negative, narcissistic, or light and empathic.
In fact, he is so good that rather than creating us as these individuals with like a perfect conscience to always love God and always worship him and to always do good, he gave us the gift of free will. And with this gift of free will, we have the ability to choose whether or not we're going to love God, whether or not we're going to worship him, whether or not we're going to choose to do good or choose to do evil.
For this person, I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon and go, well, if that's the case, then surely God must have created evil for us to choose. No, that didn't happen. No, God hasn't created good or evil. These are just perceptions of our mind. They're not real. They don't exist. It's just how you judge things. If you're judging things good and evil, that's you. The illness is inside you. It doesn't exist in the world. That's the idea of free will, is that we get to build our perception as we see it. But it's still a healthy perception to build, and then a not so healthy perception, which I call illness, which is a knowledge of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's what it's there for. And we can choose which one to look at, I suppose, but I don't think it's a choice, and I'll cover that another time.
See what I'm saying? So all the evil you see that exists in today's world...
I don't see any evil in today's world. I see illness. If you see evil, then you don't believe in cause and effect. You believe in a fictional fairy tale.
It does not come from God. It stems from an individual's decision who chose to deliberately do evil.
Well, she's part right, if you've been following what I'm saying, but obviously she messes it all up on the landing.
You see what I'm saying? But
no.
Yeah, we're always so quick to blame God for all the evil. And to top it off, we're so quick to take credit for all the good that happens in our life, too. We gotta twist it a little bit, you see?
Oh, it's twisted. It's twisted.
We sold our...
Alright, this gentleman, I need to speak to this gentleman. I'm going to try and reach out to him. Me and him need to have a very in-depth chat, because sometimes he comes across as such a critical thinker, and then other times I just want to laugh at him. And I don't want to laugh at people, guys. It's just, I don't understand. So I would love to chat to this person. And I don't think he understands he's a mathematical being that sees patterns in things either. So this is something we need to chat about.
Sold to the devil. How else can you explain us being here on the...
Jack Black, by the way, is a comedian, an actor, who loves satire more than anything I know. And you're pointing at him as if...
About a week, not today, bro, about a week ago, I sold my soul.
How on earth would that young lad know what his soul was? That's right, I'm saying, these guys don't even know what they're thinking. I mean, they clearly don't know what soul means. They're just using words. If I asked them what a soul was, what's the answer I get out of them?
Work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. When I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
These are unwell individuals lost in delusions, or actors. The same thing.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Jesus!
Yeah, let's just see what he says.
This owns your soul. Type it in the comments right now.
Oh, no, gee, Jesus is the sun. What do you... Oh yeah, I suppose he does all my Zeus is the sun. Soul, right, guys, soul for me is the source frequency of who we are. My soul is an organism within me, an organism of energy. So the source energy would mostly come from my heart, I suppose, but there are individual energies all over my body which can be measured. And these energies, like the organs, are just the organs of the soul. And then the soul is the organism of these energies, and which produces my energy. Oh, I say energy, the frequency of the energy is what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm confused myself. It's the frequency, the information, the source. And then from that information that's given out, a spirit is created. The spirit is what, think about what is telling my skin to vibrate in a way to appear and work as skin. There's an information there, and that information comes from our source. In the physical form, you could see it's DNA. DNA is the physical form, and DNA creates this avatar. So you can see the soul in action in different forms, but I don't know, maybe that's a little complicated. We'll go on to another show. Right, guys, that's all we have time for the good and evil part in this. Write down what you think in the comments below. Do you believe in evil? What is it? I'm good. Explain it to me. Give me a good explanation of what they are, and who knows. See you next time. Harmony, Wirgo Warriors.